Hi, and welcome back to Serenity Cove Crafts. My name is Linda, and in today's tutorial we're going to be making a creepy kitty cat Halloween beanie. Okay, just wanted to show you what I've been up to. Now this here is my Halloween, my pumpkin teddy bear, and this full tutorial is it's one of my free tutorials. It's on YouTube, so go ahead and look at the playlist and you'll find a whole bunch of tutorials there. I'm in the Halloween spirit right now. So I wanted to kind of show you what I've been up to. Now this little pumpkin puppy, it's a ghost puppy. He is available on my Etsy store. Let me smooth these away. I have Mr. Bones, the skeleton. He is available on my Etsy store as well. I'll put the link to that down on the comments. Go ahead and hit more and you'll see them. And this one I just finished yesterday. Ooh, 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 I love her. Look at that. She's a creepy goth Halloween doll. And it's just black and white. I love the contrast of the black and white and the simplicity of it. So this is my latest Etsy project. So now, put that aside, I decided I actually have a commission for needle felting coming up, and I have an order for a few children's hats. So I'm working on those, and I just wanted to pop in quickly to show you how to make this creepy little hat. Now this one's going to be for an adult size. And I used, now this is a Lion brand 100% acrylic yarn. It is Pound of Love, and the color is called Charcoal. Now I was looking for a black, but this is what I was able to put my hands on quickly without having to dig through my bags of yarn. So we'll go with this. So for this one, I'll just get you to knit all of your pieces, okay? So I use my 48 pin Sentro. When I'm doing adult beanies, I like to use my Sentro because it has 2 extra pins. But you can go ahead and use the Addi. And so with this charcoal, I cast on my 48 pin. I knit 140 rows and I cast off. Now if you want to make this for a child, I would say go down to maybe 120 rows. So just adjust the amount of rows. The rest of the steps will be the same. Okay. So what I did is I cinched and tied off one end. I have the other end here just to show you quickly how to do that. I do have tutorials that show you how to cast on, to knit, to cast off, how to cinch and tie your ends, how to double your work. So all that stuff is covered on one of my earlier tutorials. So I do all of my knitting off camera. I find that my tutorials tend to run a little long because I am a tad bit chatty. So, oh, and I just wanted to, before we go on, if you're new to watching my tutorials, basically I designed my tutorials to be friendly and to be as though I'm sitting down with a friend having a cup of coffee, and this is how I would talk to them. Well, there might be colorful language in there too, but I won't put colorful language in here. And we talk about real life situations, but this is how I would teach a friend to do something. And I will admit, I'm not for everyone. So if you can't stand the sound of my voice, go ahead, mute me, mute me, and throw the subtitles on. They have the closed captions. So for the rest of you that are still here, hi. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how I close my end. So it's cinching, so I pulled it. And when I'm doing a beanie, a hat, I'm here in Canada. A beanie is called a toque, and it's spelled T-O-Q-U-E. Give you a little Canadian education. And no, I do not say A. You'll probably never hear me say A. I wasn't raised speaking with A, so that could be a bit of a stereotype. And yes, Canadians, we do apologize all the time. I bang into something, I'm sorry. I trip over a hedge, I'm sorry. It's just, that's second nature. Okay, so now you got your little bit of Canadian trivia. So when I cinch it and I'm going to tie it off, when I'm doing a beanie, I want to make sure that it's going to hold up. So you see these stitches? Let me just try to see if I can zoom in a bit. There we go. So what I do is I go on the outer edge here, and see these stitches? So with my tail end threaded on a needle, I just pick these up. Just go ahead and see that? Just pick them up like that, and we're working our way all the way around until you get back where you started. Another reason using this color is better than black is black is very, very difficult to show on a tutorial or photos even for that matter. Black is the worst color to try to teach with, but it's creepy, so we had to go with charcoal. It can still be creepy. But you know what? You could also do this in white and then do the creepy accents in black. So it's your project, honey. Do what you want. Work with what you have. Now I'll also be using a 22-pin Addi machine, and I will be using a hot glue gun and buttons. Now these are just buttons I got on Amazon. I'm using a large white button, but these here are just buttons that I got at, oh goodness, either Dollarama here in Canada or Dollar Tree, which I know my American friends have Dollar Trees. So I'm, just may use just this wood grain button. And I'm going to hot glue those on just because my yarn needle is a little too thick to go through the holes. Okay, so get back over to here. I have ADHD crafts. Oh goodness. Now you see why my tutorials run long. So I'm working my way around. Now see, I could tell when I'm back to where I started, because look, this over here is not a single strand anymore, it's double. So I've already picked those up. So I'll go ahead and close it. Like I said, I'm in Canada, and we could be hard on our hats. So I triple tie the end. That's just me. When it's a hat, I want it to stand up to anything that Canada or other people can throw at it. And no, it's not a barren wasteland here. We've had a hot summer. I mean, some days it felt like 43 degrees Celsius. So no, absolutely no snow. No snow in the summer. We don't live in igloos. Most of us don't anyway. Okay. So both ends are cinched. And when you take your piece off the machine, always give it a good stretch. I always stretch it in all directions. Okay. So now I'm going to double my work. I am going to zoom back out here. Okay, so you take one end and you slide it into itself, all right? Most of you already know how to make beanies. So this is all you're doing. Easy peasy. It's one of the first projects that I learned how to make. Okay, so I'm going to tie this off on the inside. So what I'm doing here is I'm just passing my needle through the center point. And on the inside here, I'm coming out in the center point. Or I'm going to try my darndest to come out on the center point. Here we go. Okay. So this is the inside of the hat. Just going to cut this down a bit. All right, I tie it a few times. I said when I assemble something, it's not coming apart. All right, and let's see here. Okay, so we're going to hide our ends inside our work. So we're just hiding it between, see that, between the two layers. You don't want it going all the way through. Pull it through, cut it off. Save your tail ends for a future project. They're great to stuff with. All right, my friend, we are now, we're done the beanie part. Going to be rolling it up. Okay, so now we'll be doing ears. So in the 22 pin machine, I knit 20 rows in this charcoal. Okay, so what I did over here, let's see, I'm going to cinch and tie one end only. Just go ahead and tie this off. We're just closing this end and tying it. Right? Keep your needle, your thread on your needle, sorry, your yarn. What we're going to do here to make the top of the cat ear, we're going to pinch. Let's go ahead and pinch. See, like that? And then all I'm going to do here is I'm just sewing. I sew all kinds of different ways. So for this one, I just sewed like this. Just kind of went, ooh, there we go. Just kind of went back and forth. Now for about a count of 4. Let's see. There's 4. There. We have our nice little point. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to tie this off right here. Yes. Go ahead, tie that off. Black and this charcoal, they're very forgiving colors. So it's hard to see if you make any oopsies. So there we go. Now we don't need this tail end anymore. Let's go ahead, just hide it between the layers of the ear. Okay, pull it out, cut it off. Now for the ear, for the bottom. We're just going to cinch it, but we're not cinching it all the way, just a little bit. And then what I did is I just whip stitched around, just to, you see how that's 2, like that? It's open. Just the whip stitching, all it does is it helps me make it more manageable, and it sews that closed, so it's easier to sew. Okay, so grab this tail end, it's at the bottom. Okay, just make sure your ends are together. Pull it a little bit. And this, I'm just whip stitching, so I'm just kind of going through and looping back over. See, like so. Nothing special, nothing fancy. It's easy. Right, so now I'm over at the end here. Just going to tie this. Just going to tie it off once. We'll be using this to sew. Leave these end tails. We're going to use this to sew the ears to the hat. Let me zoom back out. All right, what I'll do is start with this one since it's already threaded. Okay. Now I do have my mannequin head. Look at this. I have no idea how she got purple ink on her. I have no children and I have no purple ink. So therein lies a mystery. Okay, so let me just want to position the ears. Okay. Let's see. I don't know about you, but my head is wider than hers is. So kind of do like so. What we're going to do is we're going to stitch the cat's mouth across here. All right, so I'm just trying to position where I want the ear to go. And if you've watched my channels before, you'll see that I just use these yarn needles as stitch markers. Okay, so let's see. Put one over here. Just, there we go, there we go. Okay, so put one kind of here. And I never measure, but when I do something for you guys, I try to measure. Okay, so here, let me just take, I'm just going to pin this ear in place so that I can give you an approximate measurement here. Okay. So I'm probably going to adjust this one so that it hangs up a little better. Let's see. But I would say probably about 1.5 inches from that center top hole. Yeah, about 1.5 inches. So that would put them about 3 inches apart. All right. I'm just going to take that one off. I'm taking this off the head. All right. Nope, I'm not sewing with that needle. Here we go. Okay. So to sew this on the hat, actually, I want to decide which side of the hat I'd like to use. I'm going to use this side here. And let's see, about there. Okay. I have to start at this end. Actually, if I slide the needle through like this, I can start at this end, which is where I sort of want to start. Okay. All right, so I use my hands inside the hat. So just make sure that you're not sewing it through all 4 layers of the hat. Then you'll have to undo it. Basically what I'm just doing is I'm just grabbing a couple of stitches from this side, right here. A couple from here. Not really a mattress stitch, but similar. I'm not a seamstress. I'm not a hand knitter. I don't crochet. I can never figure that out. So I may not know the real words for things, but and everything I've done, I've had to teach myself because this is foreign to me. So when I first started out, my work was really, really sloppy, crazy, all over the place. But it's all a learning process. That's all it is. There we go. Come around. Let's see if we're still in position here. Yes. I think I'll come a little, put this up a little bit more up this way. It's just, see, and now I'm changing the way I'm sewing. That's, just, whatever you can do to get the job done. There we go. I think it looks better if it's spread out a little further like that. Okay. So now I'm just going to sew back in this direction. So what kind of person are you? Do you love Halloween? Do you love that crisp, crackling leaves underfoot? Or are you someone that just thinks that it's all phooey and it's a nuisance, a pain in the behind? I I'll have to be honest with you. I prefer Halloween to Christmas, 100%. I like the fall. So, right. Right, so I'm just going to sew this off, tie it off a couple of times. And when you're sewing your other ear, make sure that the inside of the ear is pointing the same direction. I mean, hey, you're a fiber artist, honey. Did you know that? You take this string and turn it into something wonderful. So you're an artist. You're a fiber artist. And get used to calling yourself that. No two of your creations will ever be the same. Took me a while. I had to take fiber art classes, actually, to realize that I'm a fiber artist. May not be my, doing a basic beanie is certainly not my creation, but it is something that particular one is something I've made. So we are artists. We just paint with yarn. All right. I'm going to go ahead and hide this. And between the layers. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and let you do the other ear. And I will be back with my glue gun heated and some white yarn. And this was an open yarn that I had. It is Lion Brand, Pound of Love. And Pound of Love is what this is as well. And this is probably just white. White. So I figured I'd stick with the same yarn this time. Okay, and I'll be back with the next steps. I'm back. So do you have your ears sewn on? It's a mad kitty. Actually, we could tuck them down like that so he looks like a peeved off kitty. Maybe I'll end up doing that. Okay, so I just decided to use these craft buttons. It has a larger size button. My glue gun's been heating up for a while. Let's go ahead. Don't have to go crazy. Show a little restraint. I know it could be hard. I'm just gonna put this eye's gonna be right here. Now granted, it does look better if there's stitching, but my needle, I don't think this needle would go through that. Okay. So now I'm just going to move my glue gun out of the way. Okay, so I got myself a really, really long piece of white yarn and I doubled it. Okay, so what we're going to do is, let's see, I think we'll start with the mouth. Okay, so I'm just going to go in I can't even speak. Oh, a different spot than I'm embroidering on. Oh my goodness. Now this over here, I'm making sure that I'm just going through the one layer. Okay. Save some of this tail end here. Now to do the mouth, I'm just going to, let's see. Maybe give him a cranky mouth. Okay. So when you're embroidering, you're always planning the next stitch. So I'm going in here, but I want to come out over here because I want to start doing lines across. Okay. Show you what I mean. So I haven't completed this stitch yet, but I'm already planning this one. And I'm just peeking to make sure that I didn't go through. And I did. Oh, I did go through, but that's all right. Easy enough to back up. And when I make errors like this, happy accidents, why don't you try to leave them into the tutorial just to show you that, hey, we all kind of, you know, make mistakes. Okay, so there we go. I come out here. So as I'm coming out here, I'm guiding this into position with my other hand. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll be securing this in place with these stitches. Okay, so this stitch is going to come across here and have it go down here. And I'm going to have it come out, let's see, where did I want this? I tend to make the end stitch or the end, the stitching longer than the ones in between. Right. And yes, it is a pain working with such a long piece of yarn, but I know I'll be using it when I do this. Okay, so not like that. So let's see, I'm going to come in here and I want to anchor this up a little higher. Okay, so I'm up here right now, and now I'm just going to take it to here. And same thing up here. There. You see how I did that? So what it's doing is it's holding it where I'm guiding it. You don't want to pull too tight. It will pucker, and then it won't look as good. Okay, it's a creepy cat. It's not supposed to look good, but you know what I mean. You want it to look, you have a certain vision in mind. And there we go. Go through. Let's see. And this is your project. Go ahead and do what you want to do. Yes, I did that. And I'm going to have this one come up like this. You just make it your own. Now I do believe one of my first tutorials was a silly monster hat for children. So you can check that out. I had fun making that one. I think he sticks his tongue out. I can't quite remember. Once I kind of like make it, and then I leave it in the past and I continue forward. So sometimes I can't remember what I've done. Okay. Go like this. I want this end one here to be a decent size. Let's see. So now I'm going to plan my exit. I'm exiting out the same way I came in. Okay. So, let's see. I'm going to make it go like this, and then I'm coming out, take the needle, come out the exact same hole. There we go. Gentle, gentle, gentle. There we go. So I'm going to cut this here. Let me just grab another needle. I'll use this one. This is my thickest needle, so let's see here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take these thread, these yarn pieces. We're going to tie them into a knot. Don't pull too tight. See, I forgot what I was doing for a second. It happens. It happens. Okay. Now, what you're going to do is go in the same hole. Now, the reason I don't have the yarn on the needle is because it's not long enough to reach. So that's all right. This is how you address that issue. Okay. You insert the needle most of the way, and then you go ahead and thread it. Watch, it's not going to cooperate because I'm on camera here. Right. All right, let's go. Okay. Whew. So I'm coming out somewhere else over here. Don't pull too tight. I know it's a little difficult because it's thick. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead here, cut this. And then once you cut it, see that? You should. There. So you shouldn't be able to tell where you went in. Now I'm just threading this again. I don't know what it is with these. These are my favorite needles. They're metal. I think they're metal. But when I can never get these little fragments of yarn off of the hoop. I mean, try taking my teeth to them or scissors, and maybe you have a tip for me. Go ahead and leave a comment. And if you enjoy my tutorial, hit that subscribe button and come on, give me a thumbs up, like it, and leave a comment. I love reading the comments. Okay, so same thing. We're going in somewhere else. Don't go through both layers. Going to determine where I want the top of this eye to be. It's going to be right about here, and it's not going to be even. Well, actually, it looks pretty good. Let's see. So I'm going to want this. Start with this crossing over this way. Let's see. Going just in between. I'm going to come out over here. This is going to be a really big IX. Okay. So now I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to end it here, come over here, exit the same hole. I just need to remember what I'm doing. There we go. All right, so we're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to cut it. I'm just going to be doing single strands over here. That's why I decided to cut it off. Tie it in a knot. There we go. Whoops, one of you came undone. Okay, so I'm going in the same hole. I want to hide this knot. Try not to put my head in the camera's view. Okay. Snake through, just going to come out somewhere else here. Remember not to pull too tight or this will buckle. There we go. So I don't know if this is, how you embroider. It's how I taught myself, and I'm sure that you're probably better at embroidering than I am. But I taught myself what I figure I needed to know. So I think that I'm going to do some stitching on the ears. Now this is where you just play around, do what you'd like to do. Sorry, just had to take a sip of my tea. It's really dry in here. Okay, so same thing applies, going somewhere else. I'm going to go in over here. Let's see, you know what? I think that I might sew. And see, the white gives it a nice contrast. So I'm just doing my embellishments now. I don't know if you can call it embellishment if it's not pretty, but put your own personal touch on this. I will keep stitching and I will come back to show you what I ended up with. Deciding to do here, so I just kind of sew. This is just, you know, I'm not sewing it to anything, but I decided to go along the ears, and you see how this kind of, see how that's still kind of open. I'm just, in my case, I've decided I'm going through the back, through the front. Now you can just do any kind of crazy stitching you want to do. Alright, so, and then this way it's kind of tacking it in place so it will maintain its shape. Okay, so like so. See that? I'm going through here, going through all the layers. I was just kind of pinning that in place. And this way you have some embellishments, some detailing on the back of the hat. See that? I just wanted to show you something. Remember how I said I thought it would look neat if the cat was angry, had ears going down? So on this ear over here, I am just going to do my stitching in such a way that it is actually serving a purpose. It's going to actually tack this ear down. So I'm going to have one ear down. Hey, and I think it's handsome. I'm the kind of person that if I were to adopt a cat, I would want the one-eyed cat with the wonky ears. That's just me. You know, or the tripod cat with only one, you know, 3 legs. Right. So I just wanted to show you that it's not too late. You can go ahead and get one of the ears to go in a different direction, and then I'll be back. All right, so I've got the ears the way I like them. Now I thought that I would like to do some sort of nose. I am just ad-libbing this. I have no idea what I have in mind, so just snake this yarn through. Let me see, come out up here. Should we give him maybe just a little bit of an X for a nose? Okay, I'm working my way out here for this last stitch. Okay, here I go. Well, I think that's adorable. So now it's time to tie this off. Now this is your project, hon. Go ahead and use whatever colors you'd like. Bright Hoochie Mama pink, kind of like my cell phone. Do some red stitching, make it look like blood. Come on, it's Halloween. Actually, I think this hat's going to be for me. I'm going to wear it. Yeah, I live in a building with some pretty normal people, And I'm not normal. I would never claim to be normal. So let's see what kind of reaction I'll get from the other people around. Okay, so there we go. Okay, my friend. Once again, our journey has come to an end. And I hope you enjoyed making your own creepy kitty cat Halloween beanie. And until next time, my friend, be well and take care.